Malcolm Addis Ahmet, everyone. I hope everyone is having a happy new year. I hope you guys are all, with your family or loved ones in quarantine and you guys are having a wonderful holiday. I am going to walk you through what we do for holidays. Again, this is just going to be my family and I. And I picked up the flowers, like I said, and I went with the traditional yellow flower, but I also saw some colorful flowers that I want to incorporate. So come along with me. So I'm going to start with my table. All right, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is start cutting these beautiful flowers. And I have these vases right here. I believe I picked it up at the 99-cent store. Or Michael's, I don't remember. Either way, you can pick up vases. And again, I like these flowers, but I don't like them to be super duper long. So what I like to do is I'll like to measure. So this is a little too long for me, so I'll go ahead and chop it off a little bit more, and I like it to come about right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and simply cut down my flowers. So the yellow flower is a traditional flower that you would see back home during New Year's. They spread, grass and flour all over. It's kind of like that Eddie Murphy Coming to America movie where you see them walking around throwing flowers everywhere. It's actually really beautiful. Maybe I'm a little exaggerating, but more flowers, the better. So for me, I'm just going to be using the flowers around my tablescape and around the dessert table. And I made my headband out of these flowers. In North America, these flowers would be called tick seed flowers, or you can use yellow lilies. And worst case, you could always buy sunflowers. But check your grocery store or your florist shop, depending on what season it is in. Well, we always celebrate in the fall. You might be limited, but I got lucky and found these flowers, and I found green, yellow, and red flowers. So I'm going to do something in a minute with that. And this is my son, Marco, aka my handbag. And everywhere I go, he's right next to me, and I love it. And he's a big helper in the kitchen with me sometimes. So today he wanted to help me cut, and he is using his scissors, and he did a pretty good job. So now I just want to go ahead and wipe down my table and get it ready for the tablecloth. So now that my table is clean, I'm just adding my white tablecloth, and from here I'm going to go ahead and add my flowers and add more loose flowers and just continue to add more flowers until I like my centerpiece. So I ordered the tablecloth from Amazon, and I also got these palm thingies that I'm putting and just using it as an extra layer. I like to see a lot of green on my table, especially when it comes to like New Year's and Easter. If I could have found some olive branches, I probably would have put fresh olive branches, but I'm going with this. And then I put my wooden charger down, and white plates, of course. I added yellow napkins, and I also picked up these banana leaves from the Mexican market. I found it in the freezer aisle. I gave it a quick rinse and drizzled it with some olive oil. That's why you see that nice little shine. I purposely picked up the banana leaf because I am serving kifo, and traditionally kifo is served on banana leaves. So now that my dinner table is done, I'm going to go ahead and move on to my dessert table, and I am using a red shimmery tablecloth and just adding more flowers. And for dessert, I made sugar cookies, and after the meal, the boys will definitely decorate their cookies, and I'm just keeping it simple but nice. I also made this cute little sign that says Melkam at the Summit, which is Happy New Year. And now that my dessert table is ready, I'm ready to start with the tips. So what I like to use is a paella pan. I know that's typically used for paella, but I find this pan, which was made by Musa, is very versatile when it comes to making tips. So for me, I must season my meat. Let's talk about the meat real quick. I am using just your basic stew meat with some fat and then some short ribs. And I picked up my meat from Costco. And what's important before cooking this is marinating it. I did put some salt, garlic, and I'm using korima, which is cardamom. And this has so much flavor. And if you're thinking it's the kind of cardamom that is in baked goods, it's actually way more pungent and it is amazing on steaks. If you're curious about the measurement, I went with a full tablespoon of salt, a full tablespoon of garlic, and a full tablespoon of korima, cardamom. So I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of oil to my paella pan. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the meat, and the sound of the sizzle is amazing. And with Tibs, you are going to cook it and it's going to start to look really watery, and then the juice will evaporate, and then it starts to pan fry the meat. And the meat that I went with, like I said, it is a stew meat, and short ribs. There's a lot of fat, so the fat definitely cooks through and the meat just becomes very tender. So I'm pulling out the gomen, my collard greens that I prepared the other day, and I pulled it out of the freezer, and you can see it's a little still frozen, so I'm just going to go ahead and warm it up on my pan. See that juice that I was talking about? So now it's starting to brown. So don't freak out when you see the juiciness of the meat. That's all going to evaporate very soon. And I am working on my gomen, warming it up, getting it defrost. I think putting it on the pan is better than the microwave, 100%. So I'm pulling out my ibe that I made from the other day, and I'm going to go ahead and season it with salt. I know I mentioned that I may put, mitmita or gomen and flavor it up, but since I have a lot of very rich dishes like the tips and the kifo, I'm just going to salt it and leave it as is. So now I'm going to go ahead and add liquid gold into the collard greens. Liquid gold is um, clarified spiced butter and it has so much flavor. I can do a whole video on just this butter itself. It is amazing on just about anything and everything. It has so much flavor. So I'm putting that in my collard greens, and look at my zil. It's starting to brown. It's coming together. I call this clarified butter kibe liquid gold because it is like gold. You want to keep it, you want to treasure it, and you want to use it little at a time. It smells so yummy in here. I can smell the kibe and everything. I haven't put the kibe in my Tibs yet, but I'm about to. But the gomen, can't wait to eat. And I'm definitely adding meat onto my gomen because I like it spicy. Meat is compared to bird's eye chili, okay? You will burn, and it is so worth it. It's so tasty. Alright, so I'm getting my ibe ready, and the zilzil is coming together. Ooh, look at that. Looks so good. Yes, yes, yes. And I think we're ready to go ahead and add the red onions and the jalapenos. We normally don't eat like this, but because it's holiday and I love kibe, clarified butter or butter, whatever you want to call it, I'm calling it liquid gold. I'm just going to go ahead and drizzle. Ooh, yes, all that. Yes, I just did that. Yep, sure did. Don't forget to salt to taste because it would just be disappointing if you didn't salt it. And I'm gonna make a quick kifo real quick. And so how I'm gonna serve this is I'm going to just put them in layers. So what I did is I started with the gomen, then I went with the kifo, and now I'm topping it off with the cheese. Yum. And I think we are ready to eat. Look at that. And the zilzil Tibs is on the table. We got the awaze on the table. I made shuro and I plated it for my kids. I like the shuro to cool before serving. Oh, look at that. Layers. Beautiful. Oh my. So now for dessert, they are ready to decorate their flag cookies, and they're super excited. This is like for them every holiday, the moment that they're waiting for is like the dessert, and we always have some type of activity, whether it be decorating a gingerbread house or decorating a cookie or hitting a piñata. It's something. So they are going to just go ahead and create and create. So literally what's next is the coffee ceremony. Coffee ceremony is such a big deal in Ethiopian and Eritrean homes. I do my best to roast coffee once a week on Sundays generally and show my boys the ceremony process, and they love it, and we teach them, and it's such a great coffee ceremony to partake in. So for my coffee setup, I went with just the basic. I'm just using my tabletop and I'm serving it, and I'm just super excited to get into this Napoleon cake that I made. Napoleon cake is an Italian cake, and it seems to me that most Ethiopians and Eritrean love anything that's a Italian cake, whether it be tiramisu or this Napoleon cake right here. This cake is really nice and fluffy and creamy, and it really goes well after eating something so succulent like we just did. So I'm excited to just get into it. And the boys are just playing with their friends and getting all that energy out after making those sugar cookies. And our dancer Marco here likes to dance, and so he's showing us what he got. He's still learning, but he loves to dance and loves to watch the dancing videos on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching of how my family celebrates the New Year's. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment below. መልካም አዲስ ዓመት ለሁላችን, and God bless you guys. Comment below, subscribe. Mwah, 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 mwah. እንኳን አደረሳችሁ.